Welcome to MetalVice in 666. I'm one of your hosts, Brian, joined with the other host,
Karen.
And the topic for today's episode is taking care of yourself during shows. I thought about this during our Wage War show in Green Bay. And Wage War goes on. We work our way up into the middle of the crowd during Wage War. And right when they hit the stage, you grab onto me. And you've gotten to the point, you used to do this when you first started going to shows. You used to like me, like sort of hanging on you or being close to you or holding on to you because you were, I think, a little nervous about the crowds. And we've seen that with other couples as well who are younger, right? And you've sort of gotten away from that. Now you're sort of like, I'm fine, leave me the fuck alone. Like, you don't need to touch me. Like, I'm good.
Unless I get pushed back in a pit and I have to grab onto you.
Yes, unless something like that, right?
Yeah.
But this was odd because soon after they took the stage, Wage War, that you grabbed onto me, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, the pit kind of opened up around us, but eventually, after maybe a song or two, you motioned like, hey, we need to go back.
I don't think it was 2 songs. I think it was just like the first song.
Was it? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
It was early on, I know that. And we work our way to the back of the venue, and you sit on the ground, and apparently, like, your legs were shaking uncontrollably.
I was just, like, shaking. Like,
your
I don't know.
Whole body was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what was up. And I think it was honestly adrenaline. Like, Wage War's one of your favorite bands of all time right now. You would say you weren't excited for this show. I think you were, because leading up to the show, they were a co-headlining show. It was them and it was Nothing More. And you were tracking who was headlining because they were switching back every other night. And you're following it and you're like, okay. Green Bay, the show we're going to, should be Wage War. It should be fucking Wage War. It's going to be Wage War. And I kept like, but what if it's not? So I think it was just adrenaline. Because
Now you say like, oh, I think you're excited, but you're saying you're not. I wasn't excited in the way of like, oh my God, this is coming up. I can't wait. It was like the next show we're going to is not Green Bay, but the next show we're going to is Wage War.
Yeah.
So.
But I do think you were deep down excited. You might not say you were. You're going to say stuff like that. But I think you were super excited deep down.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I think it was just adrenaline. Because in Boy Scouts, I did the rock climbing merit badge. And when I was climbing the wall, I remember my legs just shaking uncontrollably. And it's like, I'm not scared. What the fuck's going on? And, like, the instructor's like, oh, it's adrenaline. Like, you can't control it. It is what it is. But we got out. We sat you down. I think somebody saw me carrying you or holding you back, right? Or not holding you back.
Yeah, but, like, I couldn't walk because, like, I was shaking.
Helping you get back. And, like, they were asking her, is she okay? Does she need help type thing? Like, no, it's all good. You end up calming down and getting better. I mean, standing up and working your way, not to the front or near the middle, but to the back of where the big, bulky crowd area to enjoy the rest of the show. And that's sort of where I got the idea from this, is like just taking care of yourself during shows. Because I've had a few moments like that myself. There's 3 that come in mind for me personally. One of them was at the Forge at...
Helvetii.
Was it Helvetii?
Yeah,
I couldn't remember if it was
Helvetii.
them or if it was Machine Fucking Head.
No, I had a panic attack at Machine Head.
But that was before we even got
Well,
there.
yeah, but your issue was at Helvetii.
Yes, Helvetii, we were there, and my heart was racing. I felt very hot and clammy. I can't really remember it all that well at this point in time, but I remember toward the end of their set just being like, I need to get the fuck out of here. It was very dense, very packed in. We were at the front of the sound stage, so there was
nowhere for us to go.
So we got pushed back. We were getting pushed back a little bit just because how packed it was. Like I can't go backwards. I'm gonna get smashed or something. I don't know. Something was fucking going on with me, and we eventually left that environment, worked our way back to the bar, and I went to go buy water. And the waitress or the server must have known by the look of me, just like something was up, and just handed me a couple waters. Drink those, sat on the ground for a bit and calmed down. But the entire ride home, too, I just felt off.
You're very anxious, yeah.
And it may have been an anxiety attack. That may have been my first ever anxiety attack, honestly. So that was one for me. Another one was Open Air 2016. Slipknot, when they took the stage, or before they took the stage, it was very packed, very dense in. I may have had a very similar feeling to that, but it was hot as hell.
It was hot.
I had been drinking alcohol all day with very little water, so I chalked it up to dehydration at that point, and I was not properly hydrating myself during the show up
Yeah.
to that point.
That night you didn't say anything though. I didn't know that you weren't
I
feeling
didn't.
well.
I was not feeling well, and I would like just look up to the sky because there'd be a nice breeze that came through. At the end of the night, rain finally started to
Yes.
come, and it was like, oh my god!
I think
thank
everybody
you.
cheered and we just like walked in the rain.
But once also Slipknot took the stage, the crowd sort of
Oh, like disperse, like
figured itself out. Like there used to always be, or sometimes it is still now, before the curtain drops, before the band takes the stage, there's that sort of
the surge.
the push in.
Yeah.
Like everybody's very compact in, but once it drops, you have that one song, two songs where the crowd's shuffling and figuring themselves out, and you just sort of get shuffled around, and you find your spot, and you're good to go from that standpoint.
Yeah.
That was the other time where it's like I felt very off before the show. And like I knew in myself I was off. The third and final time for me personally, which was self-induced. I know exactly what happened here.
That's why you wore this shirt.
Yeah, that's why I wore Mastodon.
So I didn't know the episode, and so Brian's like, "Wear Wage War. It'll be good for the episode." And I was like, "Okay." And now you're wearing
So
Mastodon.
I'm wearing a Mastodon shirt. So we'd seen Mastodon before, I believe, at one point. I can't remember exactly where or when, but we're going to go see them again with Opeth, and Chemist was the first opener. So it was our first time seeing Chemist. And I was like, you know what? If there's any metal show where you want to do edibles and just sort of trip out a little bit, Mastodon's that show. Their visuals are awesome. Their music's awesome. It's just going to fit that vibe that you're going for very, very well. So we each decided to take edibles. And they hit fucking hard. Like very, very fucking hard.
Like we normally when we do like take an edible, we're at home just relaxing on the couch. But yeah, that night was bad.
And I remember like just sitting there not enjoying the show at all. I really wanted to see Opeth so fucking bad. I love their music. I was super excited to see this show. Went on and listened like half of one song, and eventually like I need to go. We can't stay here. I need to get the fuck out. I'm not having fun. This is not enjoyable. Let's go. And we both ended up. You think you were in the same mindset?
Yeah,
as well.
I was. Yeah.
I also don't think this was your type of music, so I was like, I can easily convince her like we need to go for this.
Yeah.
And we ended up leaving and making our way back to the hotel because this was up in Milwaukee, I believe.
Yeah, we were in Milwaukee.
So I'm glad we left during that standpoint. And just like with Helvetii, I'm glad we decided to leave that particular environment. And same thing with you when you were shaking. I'm glad we left that environment.
Yeah.
Slipknot, that open air, we probably should have left that environment as well. But that's sort of the point of this episode is like if you're not feeling well or something's going on.
Like if you over consumed anything.
Overconsumed anything, you're having a panic attack and you might not know it, or you feel off for whatever reason, you can't put your finger on it. It's fine to work your way back.
Yeah.
Like you might not be where you were. You might not be able to make it back to where you were depending on the crowd. And that's fine because there will be another show. We will see these bands again. We've seen all of these bands since then, right? Except for Wage War.
I haven't seen Wage War yet.
We're going to see them again, but we will see them again, right? So it's fine if you miss a little bit. It's fine if you need to leave. Like, take care of yourself at a show because there will always be more music. And that's sort of like just the conversation I wanted to have. Was just sort of like...
Yeah, no, it's a good conversation to have because we've seen people, like, even recently, like, be in a pit and, like, get smashed up bad or whatever. And, like, they go get doctored up or, like, a gauze or whatever, and then they're right back in it. And it's like...
There was a show recently, yeah.
Yeah. Well, two that I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay.
But where it's like, okay, so, yes, you're back in the crowd, but maybe you should have got some water and just stayed back for a little bit. Yeah, like you don't have to be in the middle of the pit. I get it if this is your band, kind of like what you were just saying. Like I get it if this is your band and this is your thing. Wage War is my thing. Like I wanted to be in the middle of that crowd because it's fucking fun.
Their crowds are so fucking fun, and that crowd seemed insane when we were standing in the back. I was like, I wish we were up there.
I know.
But we weren't, and it's fine that we weren't.
Yeah, and it's fine. I mean, I was disappointed, but I was like, at least we didn't have to leave, or I didn't have a medical issue, or something like that, where like I wasn't able to see the show. So,
because in medical issues, time is a factor, and if you are back and it's easy to get to you, like it's hard to get into the crowd, and crowds are fucking awesome. They will stop. They will move out of the way, but it's still a challenge at times to get in there to get to the people who needs help. So if somebody needs help them get the help.
I think that's the other part of it is like take care of yourself, but also if you see something happening, like direct, try to help them or, direct people who can help them to them or whatever. Yep. Like, take care of each other as well.
And the metal community is very fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
But like, it's just more of it's like, as you were saying, like be cognizant of yourself, but also watch out for others, take care of each other, take care of yourself. Like I was saying, you might miss this particular show and that sucks, but you know what? There's more music out there and you can't see more music if there's fucking issues going on. So
exactly. And you won't, unless you have to leave for a medical reason or something, like you won't miss the whole show. You're just not going to be in the crowd that you're in.
And it's a different vibe in the back, but you know what? It's still a fucking vibe and you're still there enjoying live music.
Us old people are back there sometimes.
Us old people are back there from time to time. So hang out with some old fucks.
Any hoodles.
Yeah, thanks for checking in. And like always, go check out live music, but take care of yourself and others.
Yep. Bye.